Support.
The maestro, please.
End of July, and I must say it's about damn time. And that's because for this month's pop analysis, we are indeed looking at Lizzo's About Damn Time.
Lizzo.
Marks the second time we're talking about Lizzo. We first talked about her when we looked at her sleeper hit,
True hurts needed something more exciting. Bum bum be dum bum be. You tried to break.
has not been up to much since then, given she still has a couple of high-profile collabs under her belt.
All the rumors are true, yeah. They hated on me since school, yeah. I never thought I was cool, yeah.
Background.
About Damn Time was originally released on April 14th of 2022. It charted about 2 weeks later at number 50. Over the past 3 months, it has steadily climbed the ranks, and as of the end of July is number 1. About Damn Time is off Lizzo's second studio album, Special, which was released on July 15th. About Damn Time is one of 2 singles off of the album so far, the second one being
To be loved, am I ready? Serving out.
A lot of About Damn Time's popularity can be credited to TikTok. A trend arose on the platform in which people tried to do the dance that Lizzo does in the music video when she sings her second verse. About Damn Time does actually contain a sample. Said sample is sourced from
Excuse me while I dance.
You can hear the sample usually during the back half of the chorus.
I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay.
We'd like to dedicate this record to all the deep.
Because of said sample, both Larry Price and Ronald Larkin of the world's famous Supreme Team are credited, as well as Malcolm McLaren and Stephen Hague. Speaking of credits, in addition to Lizzo, on this song we see credits from Blake Slatkin, Ricky Reed, and Theron Thomas. We've actually talked about Blake Slatkin twice, first talking about him when we did
Why you always in the mood? Fuck around like you're brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do.
and then a second time when we did
I need you to stay, need you to stay. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you.
Since then, he's gotten a couple of more credits to his name, like
Tryna find my dome. Tryna find my dome. Tryna find.
as well as
So in love. That's what I fucking want.
Ricky Reed is another one we've mentioned twice. We did talk about him back when we did Lizzo's Truth Hurts, but we even talked about him earlier when we did
I'm bad in love. Ooh, ooh, but you can't blame me for trying.
Since then, he's tacked on one more pop credit to his discography. Finally, we have Theron Thomas, also known as Updown AP of the R&B group R City. Theron Thomas is quite a legend and has so many pop credits to his name, going as far back as
Na 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 na, every day's like my iPod stuck on replay. Shawty.
and that includes some very high-profile pop songs as well. About Damn Time is jointly released by Nice Life and Atlantic.
Form.
About Damn Time is categorized as both a funk pop and post-disco song, is just under 3¼ minutes long, is in B-flat minor, and is 109 beats per minute. After the intro to the song, we quickly go into the first verse,
It's bad bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30.
followed by the first pre-chorus,
Oh, I've been so down and under pressure.
and then into the first chorus.
Turn up the music, turn down the lights.
Following that, we have the second verse,
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
second pre-chorus,
I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh,
and then second verse.
I'm gonna be okay, okay, alright.
That then goes into a bridge which tends to take up almost the rest of the song,
I'm coming out tonight, I'm coming out tonight.
before we finally get to the one-phrase outro that ends the song.
Yeah, it's about damn time.
piano.
The piano starts the song off just doing this held B flat minor over E flat chord. It repeats that before going to a quick A flat major over B flat that it hits 3 times. For a good chunk of the song, it kind of just sits there, but there are some alterations, like in this example, when we have G flat major 7 going to a root position A flat major before putting the B flat underneath, then doing that B flat minor over that E flat chord again. During the pre-chorus, it does change things up quite a bit, doing a C flat major 7 chord, going to a B flat minor 7, going to an A flat minor 7, which it then repeats with one altered voicing at the end of the phrase. It then repeats that C flat major 7, B flat minor 7, A flat minor 7 progression, but then ends on that G flat major 7, and above that we have this nice synth sound that trickles down onto that B flat. It does get some additional decorations throughout the song, like that synth, like in this example, when it really just is hitting that B flat minor over that E flat chord. We do have this nice glockenspiel sound over top of it. Once we get into the bridge and near the end of the song, it does repeat that B flat minor over E flat, but does have some decorative elements, as well as doing an F minor 7 chord and then hitting a G flat major 7 before going back to that A flat major over B flat before starting it back over. As we get to the end of the song, like I said, it does basically repeat that same chord progression, but that A flat major over B flat chord at the end does have a changed syncopated rhythm.
Guitar.
For the most part, the guitar takes on a supporting harmonic role, really just playing the chords that the piano is playing, but having that rhythm guitar feel to it on those 16ths. The guitar continues this pattern into other parts of the song, like here in the pre-chorus. That's not to say it doesn't have melodic elements as well, like this guitar part that happens in the middle of the song. In addition, as the song goes on, it becomes a bit more involved. Notice how here it is doing those 16th rhythms again, but we have that B flat falling 5 at the beginning to give it a bit of extra flavor. And near the end, it actually has a different part entirely, mostly just focusing on those B flat minor chords and changing the root note underneath, given at the end of each subphrase it does support what the piano is doing.
Bass.
Being a funk-infused song, the bass part changes quite a bit depending on what the bass player felt like doing at any given time. But the first bass part we hear, it really just sits on that low E flat, given at the end of every subphrase, it does something to liven the mood a little. Not to say it stays the same throughout the entirety of it though. Notice here when we have that low G flat creeping up to that F before going back to the E flat, and yes, it still does some noodling at the end of each subphrase. It does change up the rhythm though during the pre-choruses, kind of matching what the rest of the harmonic instruments are trying to do, and now it has even more funk between each bar. In the following phrase, it does calm things down a bit when we all hit that G flat major 7 chord, staying on the root, but then does some extra funk to get up to the next octave above. There are even some points during the song where the bass is pretty much playing by itself, really bringing the focus to it. It really goes to show how important the bass is for this song as it slowly creeps up, going from E flat to F to A flat. Of course, with all the focus on the bass, it's gonna get a bit more creative than just hitting those solid eighth notes on the beat.
Flute.
Of course, what would a Lizzo song be if Lizzo herself didn't hop on the flute? You'll note that this melody is actually very similar to the guitar one we talked about earlier, especially how it goes up and down between that D flat and E flat at the beginning of each bar.
Verse.
Lizzo starts off the verse pretty spaced out, low in her range, and really much just focusing on that E flat, F, and B flat.
It's bad bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30. I've been through a lot, but I'm still flirty.
As it continues on, though, her rhythms become a bit more relentless, doing constant 16ths, and the range is increased, hitting that low A flat, but going all the way to the A flat above.
Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now?
The infamous second verse sees Lizzo pretty much just rapping, doing these groups of 4/16ths, the last of which being held out to make this lovely syncopation.
In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the fabulous.
As the second verse goes along, her rapping slowly turns into singing, with some additional vocals provided above it.
Cause I give a fuck way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up, wanna get down. That's how I feel right now.
Pre-chorus.
The pre-chorus starts Lizzo much higher in her range, hitting that high D flat, but still very much doing those syncopated rhythms after that first O. Notice how she is singing C flats here as opposed to C naturals to align herself with the harmonies that the rest of the instruments are playing.
Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah.
In the following phrase, she essentially repeats that with some changed words, but notice on bar 3 we now have a harmony. We have her on the B flat and her supporting vocal on the F below her, before we end the phrase entirely.
Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better.
The pre-chorus doesn't change much, but notice now on that first O we actually have a full B flat minor over D flat chord.
Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah.
In the second phrase of the second pre-chorus, we do get those additional harmonies, and now they're a bit more mobile. Notice also how we have that long melisma on B this time.
Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better.
Chorus.
Compared to the pre-chorus, the chorus puts her much lower in her range. Now the highest note she ever hits is that A flat. We still have a lot of syncopation, and at the end of each phrase we also have this back and forth between her and her supporting vocals.
Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay, alright. It's about damn time.
In the second phrase of the chorus, the supporting vocals supply even more harmonies. And another thing I would like to point out about the chorus is notice that the phrases are 6 bars as opposed to 4.
Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time.
The chorus really doesn't change throughout the song. The only change we ever get is when Lizzo says all right, only this time it's a bit more melismatic.
Okay, alright. It's about damn time.
Bridge.
The start of the bridge is actually quite spaced out and has Lizzo really just talking, given it's a bit more closer to actual explicit rhythms than some other songs we've looked at.
Cause you know what time it is.
As As we start moving into it, she is still just rapping, but her rhythms become quite explicit and she keeps repeat that she's coming out tonight.
I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight.
Her rap lines then transition into the end of the choruses that we've heard before, given her melodic lines are now sung by additional vocals, and she's still just rapping for the most part.
I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. Okay. Alright. It's about damn time.
Given this changes after that point, the I'm coming out tonight line is now explicitly sung, Lizzo in the middle here giving her ad-libs, plus some additional harmonies up top.
I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. Coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight.
This continues through the last phrase of the bridge. We still have the I'm coming out tonight sung, we still have the harmonies up top, we still have Lizzo's ad-libs in the middle, and she even does an ad-lib on All Right with that melisma.
I'm coming out tonight. I'm coming out tonight. Okay. Alright. It's about damn time.
Outro.
The one phrase outro starts with that oh all the way on that C before dropping to an E flat, some ad-libs in the middle, and we end it all off with it's about damn time. It's always fascinating when looking at artists' subsequent releases after they've had such a huge pop hit, like with Billie Eilish and Bad Guy, or Lil Nas X and Old Town Road. It's a bit different with Lizzo, though. Lizzo's big hit Truth Hurts was a sleeper hit. It didn't get popular until years after it was actually released, as opposed to About Damn Time, which is getting popular pretty much right after it was released. And also looking at how they became popular. Yes, Truth Hurts did get some plays on TikTok because of a trend, but TikTok was not as big of a platform at that time when comparing it to the platform now with About Damn Time. It's hard to compare the two, especially which ones you think will do better in the long run. But honestly, if you want my opinion, well, About Damn Time just
Might be better. Turn up the music. Turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. Okay. Alright. It's about damn time.
I actually find it really amusing that that TikTok trend had so many people doing it, got so big, and became so popular that Lizzo felt the need to come onto TikTok herself to teach people how to do the dance properly.
Turn up the music.